There are many case studies and theories of stages of a human's life. Most of them are similar with slight differences in the names of each phase and the age group of each phase. In some studies, the phases are labeled as squire, knight, prince, and king. In others, it's peasant, warrior, tunnel, or king. Probably the most popular is Carl Jung's definition as the athlete, the warrior, the statesman, and the spirit. Today, I will talk to you about the 4 phases of a human. The only critical difference here is that my theory is not age-bound. Each phase is a prerequisite for the next phase, and there is no time limit to shift into the next phase. If the brain is unwilling to move to the next phase, then neither will your experiences of life. My theory is more inclined to the brain growth rather than the societal growth. Okay? So right from the start, I'll tell you that my theory does not follow time and age. It is entirely based on the progress of the human mind, the human brain. My interests and research into this began about 15 years ago when I was friends with a deep thinker who was from Romania. We would speak passionately about the human mind and the evolution process within each individual's life. He had an interesting, very simplified explanation for the human mind and how exactly it develops over our lifespan. His explanation went something like this. You don't know that you don't know. Then you don't know that you know. Then you know that you know. Then you know that you don't know. His explanation inspired me for years. Let me go through that once again. You don't know that you don't know. Then you don't know that you know. Then you know that you know. Then you know that you don't know. His simplified explanation inspired me for years to go deeper into the human mind. And so let me elucidate this quote for you. The opening line, you don't know that you don't know. This refers to the newly formed human mind. It doesn't know how to do anything. And it does not know that it does not know how to do anything as a result of its infancy. A child does not know that he does not know how to eat. He does not know that he does not know how to walk or talk. He is not aware, so he does not know that he does not know. Okay? The second phase of the human mind is then you don't know that you know. Here the infant starts growing up. He starts talking and walking and thinking and problem solving and forming habits that become innate, become so innate that it's not a habit anymore. Now it's who you are. Good habits and bad habits. That's who you've become. Here, infant brain does not know that he knows how to think. He does not know that he knows how to manipulate. He does not know that he knows how to lie. But it's happening. The mind is doing all this subconsciously, but it's doing all this. It's manipulating and it's lying in an extremely naive and innocent and childlike manner. Yet, it's happening. The mind does not know that he knows how to lie and steal and trick, but he is doing it. The third phase of the human mind is, then you know that you know. This is an experience the human mind goes through generally at young adulthood all the way to midlife and beyond. But as I mentioned earlier, there is no definite age and time factor in the growth phase of the human mind. This third phase is where most, if not all, mistakes of life are made. It's how far out we stretched ourselves or were allowed to stretch ourselves in the second phase is what builds character and persona for the third phase. Okay? Here is where you are confident that you know everything there is to know. Even though the intake of information is at its highest in this phase, The ability and desire to learn and develop takes the highest in this phase as well. Many factors contribute to this, but mainly it's the ego that we build until this point. People in the third phase rarely like to be wrong or corrected. They believe they have enough stripes on their sleeves to have understood the requirements of life completely. Here is where many get lost between the difference of being taught versus being inspired, which are two very different things. You believe that everything you know and believe in is the right way. And so it's here where most people don't manage to squeeze through the tight bottleneck of going to the next level, mentally or emotionally or physically or financially or spiritually. This I know it all phase makes it very hard for the inflated ego to make it through the bottleneck and to be freed into total awareness. And so as a result of this, what happens during the fourth phase of the human mind is life becomes resentful. And the fourth and final phase of the human mind is you know that you don't know. There is a brilliant quote to go for this phase, and it goes like this. Yesterday I was clever, and so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, and so I want to change myself. Here in the fourth phase is when you realize you do not know it all. You realize that it would be better to listen and learn rather than to assume and decide. It is here that you begin to understand that there is more to life than what meets the eye. There is more expressions than there are words. There is more to be felt than to be explained. There is more to see with your eyes closed than there is to see with your eyes open. Here is where you begin to realize that you don't know everything. Here is where you know that you don't know. And then the regrets begin. The regrets of not knowing better, not preparing sooner, not maximizing the time and energy you once had. This is the place where men usually realize that he should have dropped the ego a long time ago, which would have prevented so many misfortunes, so many sleepless nights, so many unrequired battles, so many meaningful relationships lost. So much was focused on me, and me. And with this, it's important to know that tragedy, loss, suffering, regret does not happen to you as a punishment or a result of weakness or being naive. No, all this is sent to you your way as a meaning to your choices. And you can change the meaning to your life simply by changing your choices. Now that you know this, it does not matter what phase of your life your brain is in. Maybe you're doing stuff without knowing that you're doing them. That's only because you are unaware. Or maybe you are doing stuff and you know exactly what you are doing and you wouldn't want it done any other way. Then you need to have a real talk with yourself and understand if this is coming from ego or arrogance or ignorance. Either way, it's not good. The best part about this phase of growth of the human brain is that you can shift into any phase, really. Phase up or a phase down, and you can choose to remain there. So take a step back and ponder over who you are. What phase are you in? What you want from life, really. Take some time to get some real answers. Don't be in a hurry. Don't want stuff too fast. Think about everything carefully, precisely, and calculatively. I have covered many sessions under the playlist Transformations, which will guide you through these phases in order to achieve the best results. I've also put a link of a video which you should watch if you do get the time. Keep discovering yourself, keep trying to understand where you are in life, and keep trying to push yourself forward in the next phase with as much readiness as you can acquire. Be safe, be positive, and keep taking and making the moral decisions in life.